I'm Jacqueline Park, and welcome to my channel, Stampin' Turtles. And today I'm going to be painting a sunflower. This one I did the other day. I didn't trace it, I just painted looking at a photo, and I do have that photo reference, but I haven't posted it. It's in my watercolor group me. I think I posted it there for my students to look at and attempt to do if they want to. So today, let's see if I can adjust the camera overhead so you all can see what I see. Let's see. All right, so my desk is a hot mess, but that's okay because we are going to paint and it doesn't really matter. Now again, when this ends up being posted on my page later, it's gonna be, you'll be able to zoom in on this with your like pinch and expand it. But let me see if I can do that a little bit right now. I'm trying to get this so that it's in the screen. There we go. I think that's good. But I always like to be able to show my paints too. So let me scooch this over. I can see everything. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let me see if anyone's commenting yet. Ugh. I have to actually pull it up on my laptop to see. Oops. And it gets all my speaking, so I have to mute it. Hey Laura, thanks for joining today. I know you haven't joined live before, but I always appreciate your support, and you're such a good friend. And I'm going to be praying for our friend Muneen. I know God has got her, so it's going to be okay. So today I got my tea. I don't know if you can see, it's a cute little seal at the bottom of it. I think these were in like those dollar bins at Target a long time ago. But I like to have different mugs to drink out of. You're so happy you caught the live. Yes, definitely. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one here talking to myself, so it's nice to have someone join me. I've already sketched this, so it's very similar to this. This one I didn't even sketch, but I just did it eyeballing it. So this one I took some time, like a couple minutes, on my Da Vinci eye to sketch it closer to what I want. Oh, Linda Ball, happy Monday. Beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, Mondays can be rough because it's basically the first day of the week and we're all starting off and um, back to work after a weekend and back to chores. Um, so today I also wanted to talk to you about some habits. So a lot of times we have a schedule that we stick to if we're organized people. I'm not organized. I like to just wing it and do whatever. But I'm trying to be more intentional in like doing a Monday live, and I want to start painting daily. So if you're like me and you want to start increasing your skills at painting, it's a good thing to paint every day because practice does make perfect. Let me see if I can find my photo. I know sometimes I can pull it up. Let's see. So bear with me. Sometimes it's up in the clouds and we can't find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So now I've got my photo reference and I can start painting. So like I've told you guys in the past, I like to keep 2 jars of water. This is kind of evaporated since the last time, but I did get some fresh clean water today. So that's because when you're rinsing your colors, off of your brush and you want to have some clean, clear water, this is what I end up needing. So right here, I'm going to start with the sky. Some people don't. Some people start with the main subject. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. You can just start. And what I'm going to show you is how I am just wetting around each of those petals. And if I kind of overlap my little lines that I've drawn, and I've tried to do it real faint, my pencil marks, so they don't show up later. But I think even if they do show up, it's going to be okay. I'm just wetting the paper. And as you practice doing this, you'll learn when it's the right amount of water on there, and how much time to let it kind of soak in. And it'll be easier each time you start to do it. So I think I've got most of this. There's a little bit up here and right here. Maybe right here. I don't know. So now, and this is a good reason to have a clipboard, is so you can lift it up and kind of look, and I can see I didn't get everything. So I'm going to go back in there and just touch up little spots where I did not get the water. And you'll see how painting wet and wet can be really really useful for painting backgrounds. Because I don't like to fussy too much with the details, so basically I'm just doing a little bit. And let me see if there's too much of a shine. You can see there's a shine, so that's okay. That's what we kind of want. So I'm going to get some really, I'm going to start with some kind of a dark blue for this guy. I'm mixing a little Payne's gray and then a couple of my different blues just to get it started here. And usually paint will dry lighter than how you put it on there. There we go. I'm liking that color blue. And my reference photo doesn't really have a blue sky. It just has kind of a dark sky, so, or dark greens even. So I'm not really sure if it is sky, but I'm gonna do a little bit of this just because I think it'll make the petals pop when I finish the painting. So right now I'm just kind of doing that. And you can tilt your board. And see, I think that's already kind of dried a lot because it's not really moving too much. So you can always add some water. There you go. Now it's really moving. And what's cool about this is like this is going to be some dark green down here. So it's going to be okay that it's that blue dripping down there, because we're going to put some green in there. So here I am rinsing my brush in my dirty, and then I'm going to rinse it in the clean and get some greens going. And I like to mix these two. If you get this pan set from Hobby Lobby, these two greens, when you mix them together, are just super pretty, and you add just a little bit of red. And then it'll look kind of what you want it to be. And to darken your greens, you want to use a little bit of red. Hey, Cindy, thanks for joining. It's always nice to see my friendly names on there, people I know. All right, let's see if I can get this a dark green. Okay, so now I'm going to put it in here and just kind of get this going in a darker green, because this sunflower Definitely has some green going on for the leaves. And I'm not doing detail yet. I'm not doing any detail. We're just playing and having fun. So I can already tell my sunflower is going to look really pretty. I like the shape of the petals. And so that's good. Rinse off the grain. So a lot of times I don't clean my palette, but I think I'm going to for this because I need some spots for my real pale yellow. And if I don't start with something clean right there, it's going to end up not being a good yellow. It's going to be too mixed with that red and probably be orange, although there are orange sunflowers. This yellow I think is Naples yellow. And a lot of times when I've used up the paint in my pan set, I'll just go to the store and buy another color that would replace that, and then just fill it in and let it dry, and it just can be used like a pan paint. And so I really like doing that. So here we are. I'm gonna get this really watery. I talked to you guys a lot about your paint consistency. And so there's like a tea consistency, which is real watered down, compared to a milky consistency, which is more thick. So right now I'm just getting this into the right consistency. Again, you got to practice. This is something that can't just be um, done overnight. You got to kind of learn how to judge that, and as you do it, you'll get better and better. So that is a good thing. Let's see. I'm going to look at my photo again so I can get this just right. I might need to lighten that yellow. Let me see if I get some of this. And add a little bit more of a lighter yellow to that. All right. So you can see that this is still wet, really, really wet. And if I touch that at all with this, and I'll just show you real quick like what happens when I touch that. It makes that green, even though this is tilted down, it will follow the water. So because that's wet, it's now going into that, which, sometimes it looks good if you do that. It's not a big deal. It's all in a matter of your style and what you prefer. So sometimes I want to have that be more of a crisp. I know there's a friend of mine, and she's moved back up to Canada for the summer, but she definitely likes a more crisp outline. So let me see. Yeah, I do kind of like how that looks though. And I like to achieve things that a photograph cannot do. So a photograph cannot do that, at least not yet that I know of. So I'm just kind of going in here and making kind of the petals that are behind the other petals. That's making sense right there. And this one's supposed to be real dark too. And let's see how that blue is gonna kind of bleed into there. That's kind of cool. I kind of like it. I'm gonna let it do that. See, this one is kind of dark. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Hard to pay attention to what I'm doing and comments. Hey, Munyin. I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I'm glad you could join. All right, let's see what else I'm gonna paint. These ones over here, these petals that I'm looking at are definitely darker. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do some kind of uniform filling in of the colors. this also is kind of darker. And I was thinking about just doing these quick and fast and like mass producing them. Because sometimes we overthink it when we're trying to do it so perfect. Um, and I don't want you guys to feel like anything has to be perfect. This is all about having fun and enjoying yourself. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the center on this. Maybe just go. And see how I just added some pure water in there. There we go. Now that's going to end up being a lot darker, and it's okay. And always have like a paper towel in your hand if you want to dry off your paintbrush. So that's always good to get it really super clean before you start. And now I have this other lighter yellow that I think I'm going to go in and do this. Yeah, so now my sunflower here is going to have some bright petals, which are going to look really good because like the sun is shining on the photograph that I have. So these petals are going to end up being more prominent and come forward, where the other ones that I painted in that darker color are going to kind of recede to the background. So let's see. These, and I'm going to show you guys another little trick. That's really good for doing petals that have like those veins in them. And I'll need one of these paintbrushes. So see how that has like a pointy end right there? What I can do is just kind of drag it. And that's going to make those lines. And it's going to definitely be more realistic. It just gives it that little fine detail that makes it pop. So I'm going to go and get some more lighter yellows in here as well, just to get those going. Tell me what you guys have been doing lately. Have any of you been painting in your spare time? Have you been on vacation? Have you been just doing family stuff? You know, I've had planned a vacation, but now we're not going because it's rental. I gotta kind of re-rent and get it ready to re-rent. So, gonna take some time to do that. But hopefully, maybe in the fall, I'll be able to go where I wanted to. I wanted to go see the Noah's Ark Museum. I've never seen it. And here I am just kind of adding these kind of little highlights and lowlights. There are shadows in the photo reference, which I probably will go in with an orange and kind of bring those out. But right now, I'm just kind of doing these top petals. Let's see. And if you don't like how something's looking, you can always dab it out. Like, see, if you don't like that blue going in there, you can just make that real kind of wet in there, and then take your damp cloth and wipe that out. Yes, Laura, we should go. We should get our group together and set up something. I did want to bring my kiddos if they would enjoy it. Um, of course, now they're getting to that age. They're adults. They got their own lives. It's kind of hard to um, get them to go with me on a trip now. Um, see how you can tell now that it's dried a little bit, all those little veins coming out. So I'm gonna do a couple more. I think those look good. And you kind of want to follow the shape of the petal. You don't want them to just be uniform straight lines. You got to kind of make them a little bit different because nature has a way of just not being uniform. So that's kind of how it turns out sometimes. Cindy, you want to go too? Well, Faye, our friend Faye's going this week, which I should have, checked with the church and see if they had any spots left, but that's okay. Yes, Laura, it would be so much fun. It is hard when they get older, but the blessing is that when they get older, they can get married and have kids, and that's when I think pure joy comes from being a grandparent, probably. I don't know, because you can always return them to their mom after you spoil them for the weekend or something. That's what I think anyway. All right, I'm going to add some orange to this. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right, that's super, super duper orange. And I'll give you a little hint on what to do when your orange is just too bright, because I like to use more natural colors like you see. So I'm just going to swipe a little bit of that blue and put it in there. And I don't know if you can see it on your screen, how it kind of darkened that orange, muted it a little bit. So I kind of like that. Let's see what happens. So it does seem like my paper is drying pretty quick. I don't know why that is. I'm just gonna very, very lightly keep touching here and there and just let it do its thing. Wherever I'm seeing like a little shadow, I'm gonna go in there and just kind of do some touches here and there. Again, I'm just having fun. Painting should be fun. Like, definitely want to enjoy what you're doing. Um, and I know when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be an artist my whole life, pretty much. I've always enjoyed coloring. I've always enjoyed just how colors and paints are. And it just really has been something that I've always wanted to do. And I was blessed to be able to go to school and learn how to do that. And so normally I've done in the past, like way back, like 20 years ago, I did a lot of abstracts with acrylic paint. And I just really enjoyed watching the colors blend and form on the canvas. But just like in 2020 is when I got into doing watercolors, which I really enjoy watercolor. I almost enjoy this more than I do any other medium, which is saying something. Well, I didn't really. If you're an oil painter, don't be discouraged. If you enjoy doing oils, do oils. If you enjoy doing acrylic, do acrylic. I'm definitely. I'm just saying my preference is for um, watercolor. It just feels so much more easy to begin a painting, and I don't have to prep a canvas. I just have watercolor paper, and it looks pretty good usually. Sometimes I'm not too happy, but that's something else I wanted to talk about today. So, like, let's say you are painting and you aren't really liking how it's turning out. And like I will always tell you, there's an ugly stage for every painting when you're doing watercolor, and because you got to do these layers, you can't just paint exactly what the final painting is going to be. So it takes some time to let it do its thing on the paper. But with that said, I think that we need to rethink how we talk about our art, rethink how we feel about our art. For instance, like this one, oops, this one, I kind of didn't do a lot of detail with the petals. And that's okay because I really love how the center turned out. So I may not be that happy with the petals. I really love the center. So I think what we need to do is look at something that we've painted and find what we love about it and focus on that. That our thoughts are kind of positive. That's what I wanted to say is like we need to let our thoughts be positive about our artwork and not negative. Like so many times we want to pick apart what we've done, but instead, I think it's important to find what you like about your painting and focus on that. Drink some of my tea. This is just some green tea. Um, and another thing that I'm doing for myself is trying to figure out my schedule for painting daily because even someone else asked me, "Do you paint every day?" And I was kind of like, "No, a lot of times I'm just busy. I'm doing a lot of different chores around the house. I do have, as you heard, my two dogs barking. I have four cats, bunny, turtles. Um, I have two adult daughters that live with me, and my stepson is here every other week. So there are a lot of things going on. But like for instance, this morning I ended up, putting on a load of laundry. Um, I fed my turtles and my animals and um, did some dishes, wiped the counters down. I mean, these are just like my normal chores that I do pretty much every day. But I thought about it and it's like, well, yeah, I'm going live Mondays, so I have to paint on Mondays. But what about tomorrow? What can I do to plan for tomorrow and make sure I put painting on the schedule? So I don't know. I don't normally set up a schedule like do this at this time, do this at that time. But like this morning, I'm going to be more intentional every morning of starting my Bible study first. So I have a few Bible studies going on right now. One I'm doing with some friends on the Bible app, and I'm doing some other Bible studies just on my own. And because they're mostly pretty short, I could probably read one of my Bible studies in less than 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and so that doesn't take a lot of time, but it makes me be more intentional about spending time in the Word. Okay, so I'm doing that, and that's looking pretty good. And I'm really liking my petals this time. I think they got a lot of definition this time. Another cool thing, let's see, I'm going to put that away, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to need two to do this. Let's see. All right, so I have, let me get this brown activated with some of the water. But see, I'm getting a lot of paint on there and I'm mixing it. I kind of want some of my Payne's Gray, and I think that's burnt sienna or burnt umber. I'm not 100% sure. But look at that color. That is looking so pretty. So I'm going to try not to get it all over the rest of my painting, but I'm going to splatter. So this should be fun. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. And see how it's just kind of random? but it's still really wet, so it's kind of bleeding, which is kind of cool. I like that. And see, there's a few that just escaped. We don't like those right there. So I'm just gonna lift those up. Might lift those up. Might lift that up. There we go. Might move that one too. And when that dries a little bit, I might sprinkle some more in there. I'm gonna go back now that this is looking a little more blue than I wanted it to be, this section. So I might end up going in there with some of this green. And it's already drying. It must be pretty dry in here. Got the AC running because it's pretty hot outside. Hot and muggy in the summer. Let's see, I'm going to add a little red to that because it's kind of brighter than I wanted it to be. Let's see how that's making those petals pop out. Super, super bright. And I'm leaving some white. It's kind of pretty there, like that. Yes, Linda Ball loves splattering too. I loved when I came over to your house, Linda, and we did that class I was online. I forget who did it, but it was fun just sitting there and painting with you. Um, so like I encourage you guys to make time to paint, but also get together with each other and paint. Like that's like what really is so much fun. And like I don't think my friend Elizabeth's on the live, but maybe she'll watch later and I just want to do a shout out to her because she's pretty good about calling me and saying, "Hey, let's get together and paint." And I'll be like, "Okay," even if I'm busy, because I'm like, you know what? If I don't make time, then I won't paint. So you got to make time. Let's see if I can make some more blue. Because I added some orange in there. But let's see, this is just kind of fun. Touching it here and there, letting it flow wherever it wants. Touch. Look at that, it's super pretty. Now I want to get back over here and see what I can do and make this look a little more a sunflower center. Yeah, you don't remember, Linda, who that lady was? I don't think it was Jennifer McGuire, but it was something like a Jennifer, I thought. I don't know. Maybe it's like a different name. Who can remember these things? I'm over 50 now, so kind of hard to remember things unless I write them down. And even then, sometimes I can't remember them. All right, I'm just getting this darker and darker. See how that's kind of building? And I'm just doing little taps because that center, even though I did splatter and it's kind of disappeared, I'm going to come back and do a little bit more. And there's like that little circular area right here. And I think the very, very center might have just a little bit of green. So I might put that in there. Yeah, I really like how that looks. It's kind of bleeding all over the place. But cool. I like it. Let's see, what else can I do while I'm waiting for that to dry? That's some of the things that I have a hard time with is the patience in letting it dry. So sometimes when I'm not real patient, it's a good time to go do something like move the laundry from the washer to the dryer, or oh, she was an artist, huh, Linda? Yeah, I can't remember what her name is. That's kind of sad. So, but that was so much fun. I really enjoyed just painting. I think we did some trees with acrylic paint. And that was super fun. Alright, I'm really liking all this background. And so it's so funny. I wish I could like take the center of this and put it in there because I really like this center and these petals. And it's so cool. But sometimes we gotta be patient and let that dry probably. I don't even have my hair dryer here. So what were you thinking? It was on Facebook. Yeah, I remember it was on Facebook. And didn't we have a hard time signing up or signing in or something? I can't remember now what the problem was. But we finally figured it out. All right, so let's talk a little bit about um, like our habits and kind of what we do in the morning. So I kind of told you I did some Bible study, and then I, did some laundry chores, dishes, things like that. But then, of course, what do? I sit on the couch and I scroll through Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And I get a lot of inspiration. I don't know about you guys, but I get on Instagram and I see all these artists posting all their wonderful paintings and the things they make, and it's so inspiring. I'm like, wow, they just like are so talented. But then what do? I just go and, run to the store and get groceries, come home, let the dogs in and out, sit on the couch and scroll some more. I don't know why, but that is kind of what I do. That's my go-to, which wastes so much time. And I could be painting instead of scrolling and getting inspired. But I think it is good to have that inspiration. Um, Thank you, Linda, for saying it's beautiful. Yeah, it's turning out. I'm liking it. I don't know if I'm gonna darken any of that center. I might as it dries. I'll have to see. Um, but it's looking. I like it. And I like how I'm moving this, letting this kind of drip and move down here. Kind of like that. Can y'all see that? Should probably move my thing so you can see. Oh yeah, that looks good on the. I'm watching it on my laptop and I'm like, oh, it looks good. Reese, we do not need to bark. I don't know what she's barking at. Maybe she's barking at me talking. I have no idea. Oh yeah, this is gonna be so pretty. So, Reese. So in the fall, I'm gonna start doing some of my art fairs, which I love going and meeting people and setting up my booth and talking about my art and letting them know I teach classes and it's just so cool to meet people. I really enjoy that. And so I need some inventory for that. So I do need to start painting and getting some inventory for that. So basically, and see, here's like the part where you keep fiddling and like you think, okay, I can still add some paint on there. I can still do this. But sometimes we can over fiddle. I don't want to over fiddle. That's why I practice. This is when practicing is like the best. Like you need to be able to um kind of judge. And see, I'm lifting that up. Ooh, that's kind of making that bright. It's kind of pretty. I don't know. What do you think? Does that look better with like some highlights there? No. May go back and add some more paint. Maybe mix some more yellow. Maybe some brown. And see, this is just so fun that I'm fiddling. I don't know. Guess that's okay. I kind of want to go back in with some dark little spots because I see that in my photo, there's definitely some I don't know if that's the seeds. It must be the little seeds. Maybe I'll just keep doing this. If I were to practice more, it would be like, okay, no, I know how to do this and do that. Now I know if it's gonna react this way or react that way. Uh, See how the spots right here, they're just kind of spreading, but where it's kind of dry, they're not. And that's just kind of the magic of watercolor. How Laura's folding clothes while watching. See, we are multitaskers. That is good. Let's see. I like this piece. Lift that up. And I might let that dry a little bit, and then I'll go in with possibly more. Do some more of this darker orange. That might be fun. Ooh, look at that. And see, just kind of let that paint mix on the paper. I've only used one brush for this whole painting. So if you think like, oh, I can't start painting because I don't have a ton of brushes, or I don't have expensive brushes, or I don't have the right paper, or I don't have this, well, you do need watercolor paper, but you don't have to have expensive watercolor paper. You can have whatever your budget can afford and start with that. I use Canson extra large or XL, I guess that's what it stands for. Um, but I cut it down into the smaller sizes. So I buy a big pad of it and then I cut it down so that I get more use out of it. I'm liking how that's looking right there. But now this is dried. See how my green dried a lot lighter? It looks so dark and now it's kind of dried. I'm gonna add some of my Payne's gray and my green, which I think is sap green. I can just make it a little darker in there. And I think part of this is going to be a leaf. I don't know. I don't want it to look like a leaf. I just want it to give an illusion of a leaf. Because our eyes, God designed our eyes and our brains to kind of imagine things instead of having to really see all this detail. Sometimes we want to put every detail because that's what we see in the photograph reference, but we don't need to do that. Hey, Nicole, thanks for joining. That's my niecey. We're more like sisters, which is she's 4 years younger than me. And we grew up together playing tag with her brother and having fun. Like, I wish like phones weren't invented, then our kids would still be going outside and playing. At least one of my kids, I guess the cell phones really weren't invented until the smartphones, anyways, until later. You're at work in the dean's office, but you're watching. Aw, I love you. Don't get in trouble. What else can I put in this center? Do I want to add anything else in there? I feel like that's starting to look really good. Possibly. I don't know if I want to darken the shadows. I could do that. Photo reference has darker shadows. I love reading the chat. Y'all are doing awesome. Hey, Marianne. Oh, thank you so much for saying that it is gorgeous. I'm liking it. And this I'm at a stage where I'm not sure if I want to keep fiddling, but that's part of it. Um, like to know when to quit. um, might just try and make a little bit more of a orangey blue shadow for some of these petals to make them look more like petals. Oh, I'm liking that color. That color's pretty. I go right here. Um, sorry, I gotta concentrate sometimes. It's hard to talk and paint. um, so yeah, I'm just gonna darken these shadows just a little bit and give those petals a little more definition. Definitely have some in the background here. And this one just barely has a shadow, and then this one has. This one definitely needs to be a little darker. And then this one too. And see how I'm dragging that in there? It's okay to do that. Kind of makes it real pretty. And this one is darker up here too. There we go. That looks good. Maybe put a little more. Thanks, Cindy, for saying it looks good or looks great. Um, so Marianne's saying she has been wanting to paint a sunflower, very intimidated, haven't started yet. Glad you're doing this. Wish I could take your class. You know, I ended up canceling Sunday's class. I think just people were busy with, the week of the 4th of July. Maybe they had their trips and stuff like that. I don't know. It's summertime. People are out of town. So I may do a class on a Wednesday. I wish you would come back sooner, Marianne. I don't know when you're coming back from Canada, but I hope you come back soon so we can start doing our classes. I'm also going to miss Dolly, but maybe she can join our lives and we can do this together. Because this is like when you could pull out your stuff and paint along with me. Like this is pretty easy. I mean, watercolor. This is what I love about watercolor. You have all your colors right here. You have a board with your paper. You have a paintbrush. You have your water, and that's all you really need. You don't need a huge space for like a canvas that's like super huge. I don't even know how big this is, but it's definitely not. It's probably 5 by 6. I don't know, something like that. It's not a big piece of paper. Um, Thanks for the hearts. You didn't feel good yesterday? Oh no. My daughter, Jess hasn't been doing too good either. She's been feeling real sick for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. We even went to urgent care, but they said she didn't have anything. They tested her for COVID and strep, and I don't know if they tested her for the flu, but I'm assuming they did. And she just wasn't feeling good. She had a runny nose, sore throat, all that. So definitely summer colds are going around. It's not fun. All right, I'm just gonna add maybe a little brown in there as a little shadow. Tiny, tiny shadow. Because see, everything, if it's too much the same tone, it's not gonna look as natural. So you don't want everything to be the same throughout. You want to have a little bit of variation in your tones. So that's why I like that. There we go. And another thing about watercolor paints, I think they're fairly inexpensive compared to, because you don't really need to use a lot. So even though a tube like this, like I bought this a long time ago, but I think my Payne's Gray, which I'm trying to buy, the professional grade, I think this was like $7 or $8. So it does seem expensive for a little tube like this, but it lasts a long time. But that's why I really like that. Oh, Lorman, sorry, Jessica was sick. Yep. Oh, your sunflower looks amazing. Thanks for sharing your talent with us. Oh, well, thank you for joining. Oh, Michael's is having a clearance. I may need to go check that out. So, and plus I get rewards. Do you guys get rewards from Michael's? Like I signed up on the app. So basically you can get rewards for spending money there, which is kind of cool. I can put a couple little splatters in here. I just like splatters. And see, this is another thing you gotta kind of get practice splattering. And if you don't like where your splatters are, just lift them up. And yep, so we're getting almost been an hour. You know, I like to keep it at an hour. So let me just let this dry and be done. What do you think? Does it look done? Maybe. Kind of fun to just see how it looks, how it comes to life. So comparing it to my other one, used a lot more orange in this one than I did in this one. But see, I could paint the same theme over and over again, and they're all going to be different because it just depends on your water consistency and your paint consistency and which colors you've mixed together. And so basically, if I already have paint on my palette and I mix it another day, it might look different, which is okay. I kind of like that. But I like to give you guys a little bit of scripture. Looks like a smiley face in the center. Which one? This one or the one I just painted? I don't know if I see a smiley face. Where do you see a smiley face? Is it like two eyes here and a smile? I don't know. Normally, it almost looks like an eye to me, I think. But the one you just painted. Okay. So yeah, that could be like a little face, little smiley face. Because sunflowers are very sunshiny, smiley. It's my favorite flower. I'll just be honest. Really enjoy them. And I don't know whether they're gonna plant. There's a field, a farm right near my house. And I have other videos on my website where I think I've stopped and picked some sunflowers from there. And the proceeds usually go to a good cause. They pick a different charity to donate to, which is really super cool. And you get to meet people that are painting or picking the sunflowers. Moonine says she's getting sleepy, so she's going to go rest now. Enjoyed watching you paint. You're very talented, girl. Oh, thank you so much, Moonine. I'm going to be praying for you, girl. And I know that when we face trials, that we're not alone. And Lynn and Laura is such a good friend to be picking you up today. So that is awesome. I'm grateful for her, as I'm sure you are too. Linda Voss says from her view, it looks like a smiley face. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it could be. But let me just read to you guys. Jeremiah 22, verse 21. And it says, I spoke to you in your prosperity, but you said, I will not listen. This has been your practice from your youth that you have not obeyed my voice. So it talks about your practice from your youth, and that's what made me think about habits. So, like, my habits from my youth have not been good either. Like, I would stay up all night reading a book and then go to sleep, at like 3 a.m. And then I would sleep all day until like the afternoon and then get up. And it's like had my sleep schedule all wrong. Um, but now that I'm older and wiser, I get up in the morning and start my day pretty early and get everything going like I'm supposed to. Another verse I looked up about habits that I think is also good. Hebrews 10, verse 24 through 25. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. So I really love getting together with people. That's why I kind of missed my class Sunday. I was hoping that I would at least have 4 people that would want to come and just paint with me. Um, but everybody was out of town, so that's okay. And but today I'm gonna do some Bible art journaling with my friends. If any of you guys want to join me, please text me and let me know, and we can I can tell you where we're meeting. We're gonna meet at noon, and just bring your Bible, and we're gonna either draw or paint or put stickers. I don't know what we're gonna do yet today. You know how I am. I don't really plan a lot of things out, but I just enjoy getting together with friends. So today I'm gonna plan to get together with a couple of my friends. So you guys are more than welcome to join me. Would love to have more people because it's always fun to see what everyone comes up with. Um, kind of like painting, even if it's in your Bible, which I do watercolor in my Bible. I think that's something that encouraged me a lot, was being able to paint in my Bible and just read it more. Let's see. Yeah, I'm adding these little dots and things. I think it just makes the texture seem a little more uh, like a sunflower, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, maybe the little face went away. I don't know. Um, Laura Mitten says, Amen. Yep. But I love how y'all have been so supportive of my art and of my classes and even my channel now. I love you guys so much, and it's just it's been a blessing to um have you guys as my friends. A lot of you for more than 10 years. And I don't know what I would do without you guys. Always being so supportive and loving and caring. Um, you guys are true sisters um, in faith and in life. So I really appreciate y'all. So definitely, I want you guys to paint sometime today. Just try and paint something. If you're not a painter, just go create something. We all get busy and neglect to do things that we enjoy, but I feel it's very important to do those things that we enjoy doing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. I love you all. Love you, Linda. Love you, Laura, Muneen, Nicole, Marianne, um, Cindy. I love you guys. Thanks again for joining live. I think this is like the most people that have joined live with me, so that's pretty cool. But I hope you all have a blessed day. And again, if you want to join my Bible art journaling class, just let me know, and I will see y'all soon.